I think our biggest challenge is the pace of our growth. It stems right from inventory and forecasting through to then the production at the supplier. So it absolutely does stem across the entire supply chain.
Welcome to Supply Chain Unchained, the podcast where we shine a light on the entire supply chain, all the way from freight forwarding right through to the end consumer. In this podcast, we discuss insights and stories that will help you become a better supply chain leader. My name is Greg Amanatidis. I'm the Director of Marketing at Navia. And today I have my guest, Tracey Lefebure, who is the Chief Operating Officer at Ecosa. Tracey, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Greg.
No worries. Thanks for being here.
Pleasure.
We're going to go through a 4 kind of stage process with each of our guests. We're going to talk a little bit about Tracey's background, where she's come from, and where she fits into the supply chain. What is her major challenge or, I guess, theme of the present moment in the supply chain? And then one light bulb or pivotal moment that learning about the supply chain and that maybe reframed the way she thinks about it.
Yeah, we can do that. Thanks for having me, first of all. Like to say sort of 38 years now in the retail industry. Wow. So sort of scary saying that out loud. The last nearly 3 years with Ecosa, and must say from starting 3 years ago to where we are today, we have done some amazing things, and it has been a true transformation on an online retailer only to now having sort of 3 physical stores on the ground. Has been outstanding. I guess it's been really cool. Business to work in. If I think about my role within the organisation, I work across anything from procurement, inventory, through supply chain operations, so end-to-end supply chain in a whole, from product right through to customer. In that, I guess my role does sit at the intersection of product design, product procurement, right through to inventory forecasting, into the supply chain. So how are we getting it from factory to store or warehouse, and then in the last mile, how we then get that straight to customer. So challenging on all fronts, to be fair. Anything from customer service right back to what is our product roadmap and product strategy. I
guess something that comes to mind is that because you're at that COO level, you've literally got so many different pieces of the puzzle to look after. How do you manage that?
We manage as a team. From end to end, we've got excellent people in all aspects of our business, as far as procurement, our customer operations and service team, outstanding, and then our supply chain team, primarily driven through our partners, if I'm completely honest. So the reliance of people, and then having good process and understanding of what we're doing, when we're doing it, and how we need to do it. Ultimately, our complete goal is to deliver a wow customer service.
Looking at the next 3 to 6 months, what's top of mind for you right now at Ecosa? What's happening right now?
I think our biggest challenge is the pace of our growth. If I think about that, that's
a good problem to have, by the way.
It is a good problem to have. But that growth stems right from the start, from when we're designing the product right through to then when we're getting it into the customer's hands. And it really does identify the importance of planning your sales, planning the inventory that goes with that, and then planning how you're going to get it here. So I see that primarily is our biggest challenge, and lucky it's a huge opportunity, so it's a positive challenge rather than a negative challenge.
What are the sub-problems of that growth? You know what I mean? Why is that a problem?
I think it stems back right from inventory and forecasting through to then the production at the supplier. So I guess it starts right at the start of the chain. That production then leads into how much freight do we need. So what does our shipping lines look like? Where you come into play. You drop that then in across to warehousing, and how much capacity and space do we need at a warehouse. You take our peak periods of inbound coming in, and then at the same time we're trying to deliver customer parcels, so we then start to involve the last mile. So it absolutely does stem across the entire supply chain.
I just want to touch on the e-commerce to brick and mortar. I know that's something that's happened recently for you guys. Talk me through that process. What was that like in terms of planning that out? Because that's a big project, right?
Yeah, big project. Yeah, it was a huge project. We landed 3 stores within sort of 4 weeks of each other.
Yep.
And our first 3 stores. Our first one opened in August. That was in Geelong.
Yep.
The second one was in Perth.
Yep.
A month later. And then the third one was a week after that in Melbourne, so in Nunawading. So 3 stores in a very short space of time. But I would say the hard work actually happened sort of 12 months, 18 months prior to that.
Okay.
Yeah, if you think about landing leases for the stores,
Yep.
designing that store space, systems. Top of that is what did the store look and feel like? And one of our biggest challenges was, who are we? What do we want to be? And knowing that we're a sleep company, how do we actually portray sleep? But in the back of that was then people. It was then attracting the right talent across the store network. And then on top of that, then it's in the background, what products have we got? Have we got store-ready products? So we've been on a product journey sort of for the last sort of 2.5 years in increasing that so that we are ready to hit the floor.
Right. Okay. So that expansion of the actual product range was in line with that, going from online to brick and mortar as well.
Obviously had to keep growing our online space and, our mission is live well slept. So our concept or our brand motto is about ensuring that people get a better night's sleep and therefore can create and live in a world that we're all really proud and happy to be in.
Right. I guess, was there a light bulb or pivotal moment that you can share, whether it's recently or a long time ago, that maybe someone watching this might learn from about the supply chain?
I think it's inventory forecasting, so sales and inventory forecasting. And the light bulb moment isn't that I've never known you needed to do it, but when you're running at growth at the pace we have been running at and dropping in physical stores, not taking a punt means that you don't have enough stock to then run through the supply chain, which means that even your forecasts from an international freight perspective are not at the level you need them to be. Even your warehouse capacity may not be at the level that you need it to be. And even, the operations of that warehouse may not be at the level required. So it's the impact that those initial decisions have that then flow the entire chain. And, we were very gutsy in our sales and sales forecasting, thankfully, but not gutsy enough. So, is the learning is to, if you think it's there, go for it.
So when you mean taking a punt, you're talking about back yourself that, hey, we do need to order this much from the supplier. Like, don't undersell yourself almost.
Yep, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think if you look at our product roadmap and the amount of new products that we've put on the ground, you punt on some of those because you don't have any history to go, I sold proven. 10 today, I'm going to sell another 10.
Yeah.
It's very unknown. So, we had a couple of really gun products in the last half that have, challenged the sales planning.
Yeah. Taking a longer term view or looking ahead, and this can be about supply chain generally or just Ecosa, where do you foresee the future of Ecosa in the next 12 to 18 months? What do you see on the horizon?
Obviously, our physical store network, we've got, initial green shoots showing that the 3 stores are all working.
Yep.
So, how do we embark on that that physical retail story? So I see that as both an opportunity, but also it is a risk because, you get them wrong and that's fraught. But, taking that opportunity and taking that sales forecasting conversation we had before, it really is about, being gutsy and having a crack and, doing all the right things, listening to the feedback that we've had, and hopefully that goes a long way into where we head. But with that optimism, obviously, comes how we plan our entire supply chain, from product roadmap through, production and factories that we're using, back into then how much international freight do we need, what warehousing capacity do we need, into what does our last mile look like, and how do we make sure, end goal always, that the customer is always satisfied.
With that strategy on sourcing, how do you... what's the process for testing out suppliers? Is it samples, revise in that R&D space? Is that something that you're
Yeah, some of our products have taken up to 18 months to bring to market.
Yeah.
So we don't compromise on the comfort of sleep. So our number one motto is live well slept, and therefore everything we put into market needs to meet that the sleep proposition. We're really we just challenge ourselves every day on making sure that whatever we put into market meets our sleep strategy, but also delivers our brand promise. And I think if you think about, the Ecosa brand, whilst I've talked about customer a lot and the journey that we go on to make sure that the customer has a good experience, that experience is all wrapped around brand. And I think you see that through the product we put on, which is really great quality product, to how our stores now look. They portray the Ecosa brand really well. But if I took a look at the website, the physical environment and our product are all matching. And then if you overlay our marketing strategy, whether that be socials, where we're spending our money, how we're creating our own content. So our content team has been expanded over time and, is producing some specky stuff that is all on brand. So, it's fun, it's witty.
You've got a great content team. It's very cool.
Yeah, so it's the entire piece coming together. And if we can't find the reason to sell that product right up front and we don't get that product to deliver on the qualities that we want it to, we don't release it. We've had many things that we haven't ended up getting to market. We've had many debates internally on whether a product actually fits sleep and the sleep proposition. Does it fit within the ranging lens? Does it fit who we are? Yeah.
Do you, and then let's say for example you've got that situation where you need more stock, do you then, I guess, do you have to find other suppliers, or how does that work in terms of, or do you have to just say, hey, we need more? How does that work?
It depends, but typically if we've developed a product with a manufacturer or a supplier, we've worked with them to create it, so we can't just go and ship that product to another factory. We're absolutely working with them, but that doesn't mean that we're not out there looking for a supply of different things and different ways of doing things all the time. Absolutely we are.
I guess it's part of the strategy to almost, you kind of both have to be farming and growing the existing relationship with your suppliers, and then also at the same time keeping an eye out for what you might need in the future as well. Yeah,
absolutely. Is it new product categories? Is it, new supplier for something? I think I would look at it the same way as we look at our specific supply chain partners, is their partners. So we don't win without good partners, and their business doesn't prosper without good retailers. So it actually does take, sort of two to party together and to be on the same page.
What would you like to see in the future of supply chain or freight forwarding, or that kind of space? What's on your, if you had a wish list of hey, this is what I wish happened with, whether it's forwarding or final mile or whatever it might be, is there anything that comes to mind where you're I really want this to get better? Or
low prices and available space. Affordable freight spaces at the times you want them to sail. And if I think about our high growth strategy, not having to wait for space on a ship would be our ultimate ideal, and not paying a premium for getting, last minute space. That'd be it.
That's the main thing. I mean, that's the feedback we constantly get is I need to know it's going to be at this place at this time, and I can rely on that, and I don't want to be bleeding margins or costs too much, right? It's pretty in line with the rest of what we're hearing.
That'd be amazing if you could make that happen.
Is there something that happened, or some kind of story where you're oh my God,
Oh, no, it's our entire strategy, to be honest. So it is working, and therefore when you add product with brand, with our AI app, with the...
Oh, you've got the sleep app, that's right.
Adding our physical store network, and then making sure we're here for the long term. It's every element that we've been doing, from new product right through to our marketing strategies, right through to the customer service that we're delivering, and then the stores that we're opening, all add to more and more growth. And it's very unusual to work for a retailer that's,
running that fast. I look forward to seeing what you guys will do in the future.
Yeah, me too.
I'm sure great things. And Yeah, really appreciate your time, Tracey.
Yeah, thanks for having us.